Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my studio. This is Beth at Elegant Greetings. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, and welcome. I'm so glad that you're here with me today. On Saturdays at noon, I publish my catalog Copycat cards video, which is our time together where I create a project that is in one of our current Stampin' Up! Catalogs. And I make the project and then I always give it away the next time that we gather. So what I've been talking about for the past couple of weeks is our amazing Stampin' Up! Kits. So we have two styles. There's the Paper Pumpkin, which is a monthly subscription, and it is a really fun box that comes right to our mailbox, and it includes a kit, and everything is pre-designed, pre-measured, very simple. It's great for beginners. It's great to do with a friend over a cup of coffee. Take it on vacation with you. It would be great to sit and do on an airplane or on a car trip, on the boat. Great to do with grandkids. We now have a brand new kit that is just for kids, which is really cute. It's all cute robots, and I featured that one in my video. And so Paper Pumpkin is a monthly subscription and always a surprise. We're not quite sure what we're going to get. This was the kit that came in for the month of May, and I assembled these. It was a kit that had 10 of our 10 cards featuring our 5 brand new in colors. And so I promised that I would give them away. So I'm going to draw 5 names this week. And these are, of course, all the beautiful coordinating envelopes that go with them. So we had a lot of people watch. I'm so happy my viewership is really growing. And we had 4 new people watch and comment this week. So all your names are in my box of names here. And I really appreciate that. It really helps me. I'm trying to grow my viewership and my customer base, and I really, really am grateful for all who are watching, and a thumbs up and on YouTube or on Facebook, and that gets a chance to win the project that I make. So let's go ahead and give away. I'm going to draw 5 names this time. All right, so our first name is Kristen. So thank you, Kristen. I'm going to be sending that to you. And then our second name is Patsy. So thank you, Patsy. All right, and then our next name is Kathy. So that's Kathy N. So that's Kathy Neckrock. I have several Kathys. Kathy N is Neckrock. And then our next one is for Pam. So Pam, I'll see you today and give you your card. And then our final 5th card goes to Dana. So thank you, ladies, very, very much. I really appreciate you watching and commenting and letting me know that you like my videos. All right, so those will be sent out. And our project this time comes from our mini catalog. So our January to June mini catalog has been in effect since January. It's going to expire at the end of June. And Stampin' Up! Did publish the last chance sale. So a lot of the products are retiring. Many of them are on sale. So you'll find this in email. I sent that out to everybody. And if you didn't get it for some reason, be sure to let me know. Excuse me, because all of these last chance products are available just while supplies last. So if there is something that you have your eye on, inventory can deplete at any time, so I always recommend to go ahead and place that order if interested before the product sells out, because once things are retired, that's it. They're gone. Bye-bye. Adios. Okay, so anyway, the sale began on June 1st, and it goes all the way through the end of the month or while supplies last. So be sure to keep that in mind. And the project that we are going to make today is on page 54, and it is this really pretty Ranunculus Romance bundle. So let me show you what it looks like. And this beautiful stamp set I featured in my classes for May, and a lot of people took this class. It was absolutely beautiful. It includes a stamp set, which is a photopolymer, or no, red rubber. So red rubber, I have several of them mounted already. And that's what the stamp set looks like. It's just really, oh, I love the look of it. Let me show you what we made in our class so you can kind of get a feel for what's possible here. So here is a card all we did is I used that beautiful On the Horizon designer series paper, which is also retiring from this catalog, and it comes in 6x6, so I simply cut down a piece. So that made the background, the really beautiful muted blues and the burgundies, and then we just stamped using the stamps from the set and just kind of made a random pattern. We used rich raspberry. And then this is the rose, which is here. So we stamped that. And then the dies, oh my goodness, these dies are absolutely beautiful. This is the piece that cuts out the rose. And then there's this fleur piece, which is here. It makes just a really nice, it's very Parisian. Of course, it has the Eiffel Tower here and the postmark, and just the pieces of it are just really, really beautiful. There's also this kind of a maple leaf, I guess, shape, so that could definitely be used for the fall time. I'm looking at this die here. This die doesn't go there. That's part of my my waves one. And anyway, and then this rosette. Oh my goodness, let me show you what that does. It makes this beautiful rosette pattern. And here is a card from our class. So the exterior part of it, so the interior along with the exterior, and this goes together. It actually does fit right together. We just have to find where it goes. But anyway, when these are cut together, it makes this really pretty overlay. And we cut that out of cardstock. And then when this die is used by itself, it makes the background. So we ended up cutting that out of designer series paper. And then we had that coordinate with the inside of the card. Isn't that gorgeous? And then these are the leaves that go with that, the die set. So that is how that one works. And then here's another one that we made. This was a fun fold. Get it out of here. So it folds out like this. Kind of hard to see maybe on camera, but kind of a tent style card. And we put some designer series paper in. We stamped that rose. We colored it. Just beautiful, beautiful to work with. And then the fourth card is this card. I copied this design from one of my fellow demonstrators. I got it in a swap, and all we did was we stamped with the rose stamp, this one here, and this one, all in our brand new, one of our new in colors, and the name is escaping me, Orchid Oasis. And we just stamped on a piece of white paper, and then we took 3 sizes of circle dies and simply cut them out and then repositioned them right over where they were originally stamped, popped it up with dimensionals, put a little bit of Wink of Stella on there, did the sentiment, and isn't that beautiful? So it's a really lovely bundle. And again, our bundles are always 10% off. So the thing to know about this is that it is not retiring. It has carried over into our new annual catalog. But the thing is that right now we get to save 10%, but after June 30th, these 2 products will be independently priced. So the bundle pricing will no longer be in effect. So if interested to get that little bit of a discount, we would want to order that before the end of June. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started with our project. And the one that I've selected is this one right here. So again, we're on page 54, and this is such a pretty, pretty card. It features several things that are going to retire that are on sale. So I'm going to tell you about the sale prices, but it's just a beautiful, really, really pretty card. So let's go ahead and get started. I'll get all my parts and pieces ready here. I'm just going to keep my catalog off to the side so I can follow. All right. So the first thing we will need is our card base. So any base card color could be selected. I chose the heavy white, the extra thick white. I thought that would just be easiest. And then there's a piece of our designer series paper, which has this really pretty wood grain. And that comes from the Heart and Home designer series paper. And this is on sale for $10.35. So there are 12 sheets of 12 by 12. And the fun part about this set is that there is the colored side, which has all the patterns. So there's these beautiful prints. This has that bumblebee pattern. There's a green piece. This purple one, lovely. But the pretty part about them is that, let's see, let me pull out some other ones here. They're all gorgeous, of course. It's hard to select, but look how nicely they all blend together. And then the fun part about them is the opposite side all have different variations of wood grain. So these can be colored. We could brush color on these if we wanted to. They're all just a little bit different. Some have a little bit tighter of a pattern. Some have more wood grain look to them. But they're just really, really fun and interesting. So this is called the Hearth and Home, or Home and Hearth. I forget, let's see. Heart and Home. And available, I just checked inventory, it's still available. The entire package is just $10.35. And this will retire at the end of June or when supplies are depleted. So that's what we're going to use for the front of our card. We need a piece of our basic white. We need a little scrap of our petal pink, and then we need some vellum. We're going to be stamping on vellum today with our water base, and I'm going to show how that is possible. Because typically, water-based ink on plastic doesn't really stick real well, but there is a little trick I'm going to share, and we'll be able to accomplish that. So let's begin with our stamping. So I have a little scrap here. So let's start with our vellum piece. Our colors are petal pink, and then we have our Memento black. That's what we're going to stamp, and we're going to be coloring with our blends marker. So we need Memento. And then we have Cajun Craze. And then for blends, I have Pale Papaya and Cajun Craze and Light Evening Evergreen. Dimensionals, glue dots. We're going to use these fun gold brushed brass butterflies. We're also going to use a little piece of our vellum, or no, these are Heart and Home doilies. They're not vellum. These are actually paper. And these are on sale right now. They're in inventory, in stock, and these are on sale for just $4.50. So we are going to use just a small piece of one of those. And then I have my craft silicone mat. I have my seal, dimensionals, my U-pick tool, scissors, the usuals. Okay, so for this card, it looks like on the background, they did some very faint stamping. Whenever there is a stamp that has kind of the scripty look about it, I just fall in love. I love having that in the background of my stamping. It just adds such a beautiful touch. So I'm just going to gently stamp. It's really hard to see. It's very faint, but it adds just so much to the background. So I'm going to add maybe just randomly 3 or 4 times. And I have my scrap paper under in case I go off the edges. So that's what we have so far. And bring my chamois here so I can clean my stamps off. So that is our petal pink. And then we are going to add our Cajun Craze. And this stamp it's kind of like a postmark, like a canceling postmark. But it has that Eiffel Tower in the middle of it. It's really fun. And it looks like they put one down in the bottom corner, about there. And then another one kind of in the middle, like that. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. And then while I have my Cajun Craze ink, I'm going to stamp the sentiment, which says, "Just because." And that goes onto this little tiny scrap of paper here. Let's see if I can get that pretty straight. Oh, a little high. I think I'm going to redo that. Okay, that's better. And that will just be hand cut out. All right, so we're done with that color. And then next we need to stamp our rose, and that we're using Memento Black. Memento is a specially formulated ink to use whenever we use our alcohol blends markers. And the reason for that is so that the black ink will not smear or smudge. Okay, so I'm just giving that a good press on there. Oh, look how beautiful that turned out. So pretty. And then this black ink, it's not like stays on. It's not permanent, so it does wash right off of the stamp. So there's never an issue with that. All right. So I think we're finished with our stamping. So let's go ahead and do our coloring. Well, actually, a little trick, and that is with regard to any die cutting that requires coloring, is I like to do my cut before I do my coloring, just in case my die moves on my cutting plate. Now, here's a little bit of sad news, and that is that yesterday Stampin' Up! Announced that our brand new, our self-healing magnetic plate, unfortunately, there are issues, and it's happening with mine as well. The layers are separating, so they have made the heartbreaking decision to stop production and stop offering this product. So I'm very sad. I had just the best luck with it, and I probably will continue to use it because it is working just so great. But you can see here that it is separating, so there is a manufacturing flaw. And as hard as they tried, they simply could not correct that. So the product, unfortunately, won't be available for anybody who did order this product. We do not need to even contact Stampin' Up! They're going to offer a full refund in the form of payment that was used for this product. So that will come automatically. So there's no need to contact Stampin' Up! They're going to refund. Even if one is on order, it was never opened or used, they're still going to give back everybody the money on that one. So kind of heartbreaking. And they are also halting the production of the mini die cutting machine magnetic plate. That was in development as well. So that is also on hold. So kind of sad news. You know, there are worse things in life. We still have so many other wonderful things that we can be happy about using that Stampin' Up! Produces. And for now, we'll just go back to using our sticky notes. Washi tape works well as well. And I like to place my Post-it note over my die, my cardstock, and the plate itself. So that keeps it held in place really tightly. And then we always want to have the pointy end of the die go through the machine first. So that will just make it go through easier. Okay, so 2 plates. I have my base plate and my shim. I'm just going to run that through here off camera. All right. So again, you can see why I would not want to take all that time to color and then risk that my die might move. Well, it moved a little bit, but that's still fine. There is a little bit of a white border that is always that we always get when using the dies. So, all right, I'm happy with that. So let's go ahead and do some coloring. And we want to have a piece of scrap paper underneath when we use the blends because they do bleed through the paper just a smidge. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my leaves and the stems, and I'm just going to gently color these stems using kind of just a little bit of a flicking motion here on these longer straight lines. And a real gentle touch. The ink flows very quickly out of these, so we really don't need to press hard. It's easy to quickly fill in the entire image. And alcohol markers, they dry really quickly. They are blendable. That's why our markers are called blends. Just leaving a little bit of white here and there, just for a little bit of variation here. And it doesn't take long for those who love to color. This is definitely something that you would want to have in all of your stamping supplies. I find coloring super relaxing. I've loved to color since I was a kid. So there, that took like a minute to do all of those. And then for the roses, if blending is intimidating, it's not at all a problem, but I'm just going to show you how easy it can be. So I'm going to color the flowers in, pretty much the entire flowers. Whoops, went out of the lines there a little bit, and that's okay. And I'm using, this is the Pale Papaya in dark, so it's a really pretty peachy color. And I like to start with light color first, and then add on the dark highlights. So again, I'm going to leave a few little white spots here and there, just because. All right, so I've got that all in place. Now I'm going to take the light Cajun Craze. I'm taking the nub end. So there are two ends to all of our blends markers. There's this long, the brush end, which makes like long, easy strokes, and then the nubby end, which is much skinnier, and that is good for coloring in small areas and also for blending. So I'm going to just take and put a little bit of color here at the bottom of the rosette, and then go back with my lighter, the Pale Papaya, and simply blend. You kind of want to blend those edges is all we're doing. So it gives a very nice kind of just a soft look. So there's no harsh edges ever. And then for this one, I'm going to kind of follow the stamp itself, where all the black areas are in the production of the stamp itself. I'm just going to add a little bit of highlighting and then go back over it with the lighter version. And it just kind of gives it that nice blended look. So it's very easy. And we want to work kind of quickly because these do dry quickly, and so we want to kind of catch it before it dries so we can nice and easily blend it together. So I'm just kind of highlighting on where the black, where the dark ink, the black ink is the darkest, I should say. So it kind of makes it real easy to follow. And then I'll just go right over it with my lighter. We can use two of the same color. Our blends come in a 2-pack. So there's a light and a dark version of most colors. And I'm using, of course, 2 separate colors. So that is always easy to do. And you can see just how beautifully they blend together. Isn't that pretty? So it gives some nice highlighting. Just gorgeous. All right, so I think that we are ready to assemble. Oh, I wanted to go back and show you what to do with our vellum. So you can kind of see it's still a little bit shiny. You know, actually, it is quite dry. But what I like to do is bring in my heat tool. And this is just a piece of cardboard that I put foil on. And then I'm going to put my heat tool on low. And then just very gently, just kind of holding it down with my tweezer. And I'm just going to gently give it a little touch with the heat. And this helps to dry any areas. Now, of course, I'm going to be very careful handling it anyway afterward, but it will eventually dry quite well. And this is cardstock vellum. It comes in 8.5 by 11. And it's super easy to cut. It's just a very clear, like a frosty, almost clear, opaque kind of a paper. And it's made out of plastic called vellum. So it adds a very pretty layer. All right, let's see how we did here. That looks good. Now the heat will make the vellum bend just a little bit. So I like to kind of put it back into place as soon as it's finished. All right, that looks good. Now I did make another one earlier, and just to show that it is completely dry. So I think we'll use that one. I'll put that one aside. And then I think we're ready to put our card together. All right, so first step is that we're going to put our our designer paper onto the front of our card. So I'm going to use my Stamp and Seal. I have my craft silicone sheet here, and it does help to more easily dispense the seal. For whatever reason, having just that little cushion under there. And you know, this side of the paper, of course, would be beautiful too, but we're going to copy exactly like the catalog has today. And I have to kind of stand up and see. But this is going to fit exactly. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and it will fit on the entire face of the card. So we're covering the entire card. There we go. All right. And then we're going to build our vellum layer next. So what I did for this is I decided to assemble this part of it before placing it on the card itself. So we're going to use our little mini dimensionals. You can see kind of how that ink can bleed through, so it's always good to have a scrap under. Mini dimensionals are great for pieces like this because we can put them onto these small the leaves, so it will pop up. We don't have to cut apart the dimensional, they're already tiny. So let's go ahead and get that in place. So I put 5 on there, and then it looks like they placed that right in the middle like this. There we go. All right, and then our doily, our paper doily, we have to cut a little piece that's going to go right under this corner. So I'm just going to kind of guesstimate that we need about this much. And then I didn't put any adhesive under the stem there so that I would be able to kind of slide this under where it's going to go. Okay, and then I'm just going to snip off that corner because that's going to show. Okay, I think that looks good. So just put a little bit of adhesive on the back of there. And then slide that under. All right, and then the extra, I'll just use my scissor and follow the edge and snip it away. All right, and now my sentiment, let's see, I think this was the good one here. I'm just going to cut off. And then that's going to be layered right over like that. So I'll need 1 dimensional on the left side, and I'll need a little bit of adhesive on the right side. All right, so 1 dimensional, whoops. All right, because I only want to pop up the one side because the rose is already popped up. Okay, and then that's going to go, I'm going to hide the top edge of that, the doily there. Isn't that pretty? All right, and then the reason that I assembled this this way is because next I'm going to add some glue dots. Excuse me. And I'm going to put the glue dots only where the paper is because most adhesives do show through the vellum. So we need to be strategic of where we put our adhesive so that it doesn't show through. So I'm just going to add some glue dots. These are very strong, and they will hold the paper, the plastic, to our card front. And then I'll put another one here. And one more on the bottom here. That should hold it real well. So I wouldn't recommend the green glue for, I'm going to put one more, for the plastic, for the vellum itself. I don't know that that would work real well, but I do know that the glue dots work. Okay, so let's go ahead and fold our card in half using my bone folder. Okay, and then this I'm going to offset a little bit. It looks like they have it offset to the left just a little bit. Oh, it's so pretty. So, so pretty. Then I'm just going to press down where those glue dots are behind the rose. And then our final step is to add on our brushed brass butterflies. These are so pretty. And I'll use my Take Your Pick tool, which has the putty end on it. And so I can just gently push off a butterfly, and looks like one goes there. And these have adhesive, so they stick right on. We don't need to add any glue. And then there's another one here. Look at how pretty. It adds just a little bit of shine. I love it. And then one more tiny one down at this spot here. There we go. So pretty. And the last thing I'm going to do, now that that stem is, I can see how much of the stem is exposed, I'm going to take a glue dot and just kind of roll it in my fingers and make it into a ball, and then pop that right underneath that stem. So there, it won't show. And then press that down. There we go. Oh my goodness. You should see him in person. I can't wait to give this one away next week. Oh my goodness. It's so, so pretty. Look at that vellum. It just adds a nice little background. Again, I'm going to be kind of careful till that is fully dry. Let me bring in the catalog here and show the catalog version and then my version. Oh my goodness. So, so pretty. All right, well, that is our project for this week. I want to thank everybody for being here. And please do comment on Facebook or on YouTube. Let me know that you like this. And for all those who will receive the card from this week, I will mail those today or hand them to you today. So thanks everybody for being here. I think I've covered everything I needed to cover. So have a great weekend and a great week, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.